Hello there guys, welcome to another of my live videos, and on this video there is lots to negotiate about. So I am going to be giving you the latest news on Jack Grealish, then I am going to be giving you a bit more additional information on Jadon Sancho, then going to be talking with you a bit about Odion Ighalo and that, because there has been an update regarding his Manchester United future. So let's start with the news on Jack Grealish. So according to Alan Hutton, he's come out and said that it will be impossible for Aston Villa to keep Jack Grealish if Aston Villa do get relegated. And as it stands at the moment, Aston Villa are sitting in the bottom three. Now, it also did confirm that Jack Grealish has bought a guide dog for around £25,000 following the robbery, with Dele Alli and that. And, we've been relentlessly linked with Jack Grealish. Obviously, Villa have said they want £80 million for Jack Grealish, regardless of whether they get relegated or not. So even if Villa get relegated, they've still said, they want £80 million for him. Now, Jack Grealish is a very, very good player. I think, he has been a revelation for Aston Villa, especially in the last couple of seasons. Jack Grealish's stats are better than James Maddison's. Also, he's more versatile than James Maddison. And he's a very, very good player. Obviously, Jack Grealish has remained loyal to Aston Villa for several years. In fact, up until this point, Jack Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. He has been a Villa player since the age of 6. He's been in their senior squad since 2014. And since then has become an integral part of their team as Jack Grealish. And he's definitely, flourished under Dean Smith's guidance. Now, Jack Grealish, my opinion now is far too good for Aston Villa, because Villa, just can't match Jack Grealish's ability. Grealish has still got a contract with Aston Villa until 2023, but we did say we was hopeful that we could get Jack Grealish for around £50 million. He can play as an attacking midfielder, and he can also play as a winger, and he is only at the age of 24. There's also been a few other clubs that have been in for Jack Grealish in recent years. Obviously, there was an incident that happened with his £80,000 Range Rover back in March. Do you remember when I updated you about it? This incident happened hours before he advised people to stay at home due to the coronavirus pandemic. Reflect on the incident, like I mentioned, Jack Grealish was fined £150,000. He was fined £150,000, and he actually, made a public apology, reflecting on the incident. But what happened in March, then put doubts on him making a move to Manchester United in the summer and that. So Alan Hutton does believe it will be impossible for Villa to keep Jack Grealish if they do get relegated. Maybe if Villa were to stay up, then there could be a slight chance that, Jack Grealish could remain loyal to them. So that is the latest news on him. And I think, regardless of whatever happens with Paul Pogba, we still want to sign Jack Grealish because he is one of our priority targets. But I do believe Grealish will follow the footsteps of James Milner and Gareth Barry and that, because they're also former Aston Villa players. But probably in reality, Villa will go down this season. I'm sitting is it 18th or 19th in the Premier League? So there you go. Now let's delve into news on Jadon Sancho from Borussia Dortmund. So this is stemming from the Daily Express, and they've mentioned that Man United have set minimum transfer terms for Jadon Sancho. Reportedly now, Borussia Dortmund are willing to sell Jadon Sancho for minimum £107 million. So they're not willing to sell him for less than £107 million. But, there has been a lot of positivity coming out regarding Jadon Sancho in recent days and that. Because obviously, David Einstein, who's a very credible journalist, he's been talking a lot about Jadon Sancho. He also, was it last week or earlier on this week? I think it was last week, should I say. David Einstein was also talking about Timo Werner from RB Leipzig. David Einstein did say that there's a very, very high chance that Jadon Sancho will join Manchester United in the summer. And it's looking very, very likely that Sancho will leave Dortmund in the summer transfer window. We do remain the favourites to sign Jadon Sancho, by the way, but we have been the favourites for quite some time. David Einstein came out last week and he said, that Borussia Dortmund are not willing to sell Jadon Sancho for less than £100 million, because as you all know, Borussia Dortmund have remained ruthless over their valuation for quite some time. The Borussia Dortmund managing director, can't remember his name, he came out and said that players' transfer valuations will drop in the summer, obviously, due to the coronavirus crisis. He said last week, we're only willing to pay 60 or 70 million pounds for Sancho, but obviously, that's not going to be enough to convince Borussia Dortmund to offload him and that. So yeah, we've already said, we said the other week, we are not willing to smash our transfer record for the player. But, Jadon Sancho is our number one priority target. We have been in for him for quite a few years now. We first expressed our interest in Jadon Sancho in 2017, and this was before he went to Borussia Dortmund. David Ornstein also revealed that, quite a few clubs have been in negotiations with Jadon Sancho's representatives, because Chelsea have been in for him, Liverpool, Real Madrid and that. So a lot of teams have been in for Jadon Sancho. But I think Jadon Sancho's preferred option is a move to Manchester United. And I outlined a couple of reasons, why I'd take Jadon Sancho at Man United is because he's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. He's got a very, very good friendship with Marcus Rashford. Plus, he's well proven in the Premier League, because before he was at Borussia Dortmund, he was at Man City. He enjoyed a few years with Man City, but the main explanation why Jadon Sancho left Manchester City is because he did not get any first team opportunities. City, did pay £500,000 for him from Watford. Because Jadon Sancho began his footballing career with Watford and he was there for several years. Obviously, after a couple of years with City, City sold him to Dortmund for £8 million. So City did make a big profit on the player. And now currently Jadon Sancho is into his third season. This has been his third season with Borussia Dortmund and that. And I've got to say, since his arrival in Germany, he has been a revelation. But Dortmund have said they want over £100 million now. So if they do sell Jadon Sancho, they will make a huge profit on the player. Sancho has got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022. We've already said, willing to offer Jadon Sancho the number 7. We've had a lot of number 7s up and down the generations that have been obviously, very, very good. And we've had the likes of Ronaldo, Memphis Depay, David Beckham. Depay was the inconsistent one, but Ronaldo was good, Beckham was good, Cantona was good in that number 7, so too was George Best in that. And I think, Sancho can follow them footsteps. I think our last number 7 we had was Alexis Sanchez. But like I said, it is vacant at the moment. City do, I think, get around 15% of the transfer fee, if Sancho is sold, due to the couple of clauses in the deal that took him from Man City to Borussia Dortmund. Don't forget we've been working on Sancho's contracts for quite some time, and we've also been in negotiations with his agent. Like Fabrizio Romano, confirmed a while back, and Fabrizio Romano is a very reliable Italian journalist. Like I've said, Dortmund are known as a selling football club, because they have sold quite a few of their imperative players in recent years. Like I mentioned, lost Ousmane Dembele, they lost Matt Hummels, they lost Pulisic, they lost Aubameyang, they lost Mkhitaryan, Gundogan, Shinji Kagawa. So Dortmund have let quite a lot of their players go to the Premier League. But they have recruited a few players in as well of Dortmund. They obviously in recent years they've recommended Thorgan Hazard in, Julian Braun, I think I've pronounced his name correctly. Don't forget they also got Emre Can in, did Dortmund. By the way, Emre Can's recently given his verdict on Sancho, and he believes he should turn down a move to Manchester United. So there you go and that. But, Dortmund did say they will not stand in Jadon Sancho's way if he does want to leave and that. But there you go. So that is the latest news on Jadon Sancho. We set our minimum transfer terms for him, and Dortmund have said, they're only willing to sell him for at least £107 million. And these stories are coming out from the Daily Express. Yes, they are in that. Dortmund, of course, are looking at getting a replacement for Jadon Sancho, because they've come to accept the fact that he does want to leave now. It said last week that they were interested in Charlie Webster from Chelsea. He's a young 16-year-old. Don't forget, a couple of months ago, they were emerged as the favourites to sign Jude Bellingham, don't forget as well. So there you go. But hopefully we can get Jadon Sancho on the ball, because I think he'd go very, very well alongside the likes of Rashford, Martial in our attacking line, and Mason Greenwood. Obviously, maybe Daniel James's role could change as well if we do recommend Jadon Sancho in to the football club. And I think it also mentions that Barcelona have been in for the player. But yeah. So now let's delve into news on Odion Ighalo. So the news is on Odion Ighalo is that this is stemming from James Cooper from Sky Sports. He's given us an update on Odion Ighalo's future. Obviously Odion Ighalo's future is up in the air at the moment. But it's confirmed. James Cooper said, Man United do remain relaxed. We do remain relaxed over Odion Ighalo's future. Odion Ighalo's loan deal does expire in 10 days' time. It expires on the 31st of May. Now, Odion Ighalo has already revealed that he wants his loan deal at the football club extended. I think, we are looking to extend Odion Ighalo's loan until either the end of next month or until July. Solskjaer did make an admission saying, that he wants to keep Odion Ighalo at Manchester United, and he's been talking about the possibility of getting him a permanent contract. Because to be honest with you, Odion Ighalo's enjoyed a fantastic start to his Man United career. He has got, 4 goals in 3 starts for the football club, and he has been a very, very good cover-up to Marcus Rashford as Odion Ighalo, and of course, he is a lifelong Manchester United fan. Don't forget, we paid around £4 million to get Odion Ighalo in on loan. We are, I think we're paying, is it like a third of his wages or something like that? Because obviously, Odion Ighalo's wages at Shanghai Shenhua are like £300,000 a week. So yeah, so we are facing a dilemma with Odion Ighalo, and we have got to resolve his future. Shanghai Shenhua did say that they expect him to return in time for the start of the new Chinese Super League season. I think the Chinese Super League season begins in July. But Shanghai Shenhua came out the other week and said, they do want £20 million if they had to let Odion Ighalo go on a permanent transfer to us. Maybe we've got reservations, though, about, paying £20 million to get Odion Ighalo permanently in that. So, yeah, we do remain relaxed about his future. But like I said, 10 days' time, his current contract at the football club does expire. So, there you go now. So, that is the latest news on all of that. But there's quite a few decisions that Manchester United have got to make before, the Premier League season resumes. Like I said, we've got to make a decision on Odion Ighalo. We've also got to make a decision on Paul Pogba's future, because there's a lot of uncertainty over Paul Pogba's future at the moment. Me personally speaking, I think Paul Pogba, will stay at Manchester United next season, but I don't know about the foreseeable future. As it stands at the moment, Paul Pogba's got exactly a year left on his Manchester United contract, but the club do have an option to extend it for a further year. But since Paul Pogba rejoined the football club from Juventus back in 2016, he has had a long-running transfer saga. Obviously, he's been linked with Real Madrid, and there's obviously, been a lot of narratives in the mainstream media about him, re-signing for Juventus. Like I said, swap deals have been on the agenda, because it said, Juventus are willing to offer they're willing to offer Adrian Rabiot, Aaron Ramsey, Federico Bernardeschi. De Ligt's been spoken about before as coming to Man United as part of a swap deal for Pogba, Milan Pjanic, Douglas Costa. They've all been mentioned in that, because, Juventus can't afford to pay the £100 million that we are demanding if we are to let Paul Pogba go. And they also can't really afford to pay his wages, because the other week Juventus became the first Italian club. They became the first Italian club to have their own cap salary in that, and it says they're only willing to offer contracts worth up to £151,000 a week. But Pogba did enjoy 4 good years in Turin with Juventus, but the vast majority of his performances with us since he rejoined have been totally comparison to his ones in Turin. Like I said, Real Madrid, there was relentlessly linked with him last summer. They've been relentlessly linked with him this year. The main explanation why Pogba didn't get his move to Real Madrid last summer was reflecting on the substantial amount we put on him, because, we said we wanted £180 million for Paul Pogba last summer, and Real Madrid were not willing to meet that valuation. Real Madrid, recruited quite a few players in last summer. I think they got a good 5 or 6 players in. They got Jovetic in, they got Hazard in, they got Rodrigo in, Ferland Mendy, Eder Militao. So they're the players that Real Madrid got in last summer, and they're looking to do more business in the transfer market when it does open. And Real Madrid are also looking to offload players. They want to get rid of the likes of Gareth Bale. Karim Benzema's coming to an end of his career. I don't think they're satisfied with Luka Jovetic. I think Real Madrid want to get rid of Dani Ceballos on a permanent transfer. Of course, they did loan him out to Arsenal. I think Madrid are also looking to get rid of James Rodriguez and that. But yeah, Paul Pogba's preference last summer was a move to Real Madrid, because last year Paul Pogba was talking a hell of a lot about Real Madrid. About his dreams of playing under Zinedine Zidane and that. Obviously, Paul Pogba's agent Mini Raiola has been a problem as well. He's been the catalyst in all of this. Mini Raiola, we reflects on some of the comments he has said since the turn of the year. We've been very, very critical of him. Woodward's had negotiations with Mini Raiola. Obviously, Mini Raiola has been talking with Real Madrid a few times. He's also been talking with Juventus and that, because he's been working on getting his client a transfer away from Man United completed, in the last couple of years at least, let's be honest. But I said if Paul Pogba leaves Manchester United, he'll go back to Juventus. Like I said, in recent weeks, PSG have been in for him. Also, to Inter Milan have been in for him. And Barcelona have been in for Pogba in the past. Have been in for Paul Pogba in the past and that. Like I said, Paul Ince has been talking about Paul Pogba recently. Andy Gray's also been talking about his critics and that. Because obviously, Paul Pogba's biggest critics have been Roy Keane and Graham Souness, this season. But the positive is on Paul Pogba is that he's now fully fit. He has recovered from his ankle injury, which is very, very good news, because Paul Pogba's only played 8 times this season. His appearances have been limited due to his injuries. The last game Paul Pogba played was on Boxing Day in our 4-1 win against Newcastle, and last time he started from the start was back in September. Like I said, before the football season got suspended anyway, Paul Pogba was close to full fitness, because he had one-on-one sessions with Michael Carrick, and I think it confirmed last week that Paul Pogba was training at the Cheshire Cricket Club alongside Lindelof, Martial and Andres Pereira. So it's good that he has been, that he stepped up his fitness regime now and he is fully fit. So there you go on that. There was reports coming out a couple of weeks ago saying that Ed Woodward had lowered Paul Pogba's asking price from 150 to just £100 million. Like I said, we had Paul Pogba when he was a lot younger under the Alex Ferguson era. But obviously, we had to let Paul Pogba go then due to limited appearances. So, we've got to make a decision on Paul Pogba's future. And, United fans have got different perceptions on it. Some United fans would keep Pogba and some United fans, would let him go. But he has not yet had the chance to play alongside Bruno Fernandes in our midfield. And I think they'd go very, very well together in our midfield. Probably the best midfield in the Premier League. Pogba's won 2 trophies with the club so far, and that was the Europa League and the League Cup in his first season at the club. He also enjoyed a very, very difficult time under the Jose Mourinho era. But there you go. So we need to make a decision on his future. But Solskjaer did confirm anyway that we have got a fully fit squad for when the season does resume. He confirmed this a couple of weeks ago before, obviously, the club's return to training. So we have got a fully fit squad now. We have got a fully fit squad now. Let's say jet stream. Because we returned to training yesterday, which is very, very positive news. A lot of clubs up and down the country have recently returned to training, because the Premier League did confirm on a statement on Monday that clubs unanimously voted to return to smaller training groups and that. Obviously, as you all know, our players were at Carrington on Sunday to get tests for COVID-19. Like I said, Rashford was visiting Carrington has been visiting Carrington in the past couple of weeks anyway. obviously to get treatment and to step up his fitness regime from his back injury. You know, the good news now is that Rashford is back from his back injury. He did sustain the back injury in our 1-0 win against Wolves in the FA Cup third round replay. But yeah, it's really, really good now that he's back, because Rashford is one of our best players, and he was one of our best players earlier on in the season before he got this back injury. So there you go. Another decision I think we've got to make before the season restarts, and that's Diego Dalot. We've got to, you know, make a decision on him, because obviously, you know, there has been reports recently saying that Barcelona and PSG are interested in Diego Dalot. But Solskjaer's come out and said that he's determined to keep hold of Diego Dalot. Maybe Solskjaer believes that Diego Dalot is the foreseeable future for Manchester United. Diego Dalot's appearances at the football club this season have been limited. He's only started one game in the Premier League this season. This season, Diego Dalot. His appearance has been limited due to the couple of injuries he's had this season. Obviously, you know, he's our backup right back to Wan-Bissaka. You know, we did get Diego Dalot in Jose Mourinho's final transfer window at the club. You know, we did pay around £19 million for Diego Dalot. We got him from Porto, and Dalot's got a contract with us until 2023. He played quite a lot last season, was it? At the late stages of last season, I think he played a lot. He was playing on the right wing, wasn't he? Was Diego Dalot? I think, how old is he? 20 or 21 years of age, so still very, very young is Diego Dalot. But yeah, you know, Solskjaer, you know, does want to keep hold of him. But, you know, if we was to sell Diego Dalot, we'd probably want in the £30-odd million range for him anyway, because we want to generate more than £19 million that we did pay for him. So there you go. Maybe, you know, Solskjaer needs to make a decision on his best 11, because he probably, you know, doesn't know his best 11 at the moment, does Solskjaer. So he needs to work on that as well, his best 11. I think he's got decisions to make in the summer. You know, who's he going to recommend in, and what players is he going to get rid of? So that's another decision Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's got to make. I think he needs to work on his best formation as well, like I've said to you before, because Solskjaer's been changing formation persistently this season. You know, he's been going with a 4-2-3-1 a lot. He's gone with a 4-3-3 a couple of times. Quite a few times he's gone, you know, with the 3-5-2, is it? And from my own perception, you know, we look more expansive with that 3-5-2 formation. But like I said to you anyway, you know, these still things that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer does need to work on. I think as well, we need to make a decision on Angel Gomez's future before the season restarts. Nearly forgot to mention him. I think Angel Gomez personally is going to be leaving the football club. Don't forget his current contract does expire at the end of next month, and there's no signs of Angel Gomez signing a new contract at Manchester United. You know, we've put forward a few contract offers for Angel Gomez. I think we offered him a new contract at the start of the season. We offered him a £25,000 a week one. Was it a month or so ago now? We offered him a £30,000 a week one not so long ago, but he's turned down these contract offers as Angel Gomez. And don't forget, Chelsea have been in for him. Arsenal and Barcelona have also been in for him. But Angel Gomez's appearances have been limited at the football club this season. He's only made 6 first-team appearances, but there has been a lot of uncertainty over his future. Of course, Solskjaer's got to decide whether he's going to give the youngsters, he's got to decide whether he's going to give more chances to the youngsters, because Solskjaer's promoted the youth well, and I think he's give some youngsters their chances this season, such as Greenwood, he's been given his chances. Williams, he's been given his chances in that. Tuanzebe got given chances, you know, before he got injured earlier on in the season. But you've had the likes of, you know, Gomez's appearances that have been limited. You've had Chon's appearances that have been limited. Hasn't really played much. James Garner, his appearances have been limited. Like I said, you know, we're going to be loaning a couple of players out. You know, like I said, Garner, I think, is going to be loaned out. Well, we've said we're going to allow him to go out on loan. We could also loan Dylan Levitt out, it mentioned. Ethan Laird, he could also be loaned out as well. So, there you go. So, these are the decisions Solskjaer's got to make before the season does restart. Also, we've got things to focus on when the season resumes. Obviously, we're focusing on getting that top four because we are in that top four race. Obviously, we are 3 points behind Chelsea as it stands. We're sitting fifth in the Premier League, and I'm very convinced we can get qualification for the Champions League for next season. Also, too, we've got to focus on the FA Cup and the Europa League because we're into the last 8 of the Europa League. We're into the quarterfinals of the FA Cup, and that's a chance of us getting some silverware on the board under Solskjaer as the FA Cup and the Europa League. So there you go on that. And like I said to you, I want us to get some silverware on the board under Solskjaer because we've not yet won anything in terms of silverware under Solskjaer. By the way, these 92 games to play in all competitions, but the first Premier League game back is Tottenham Man United, like it's already confirmed. It's live on Friday Night Football. I think the season's resuming on the 19th of June or something like that. Some reports said the 18th of June. Depending on the fitness levels, if the fitness levels are, good and that, which I think they should be, then maybe could resume on the 12th, maybe the 13th of June. But Tottenham and Man United is definitely, the first game back. Like I said, Solskjaer is looking to beat Jose Mourinho for the second time as manager because Solskjaer's already beaten him once this season because we beat them 2-1 at Old Trafford. He's beaten Tottenham twice in total as a manager, Solskjaer, because we beaten them 1-0 last season. So Solskjaer's looking to beat Tottenham, for the third time as a manager in that. So there you go. With Tottenham, like I said, they've got Kane back. They've also got Human Son back because they've been out of injuries for Tottenham. But yeah, very, very delighted, that the season's going to be resuming. I really, really am in that. So that is the latest on all of that. Obviously, you saw my video that I did earlier on. I think that video, by the way, is still uploading. That video, by the way, is still uploading. And obviously, Solskjaer recently gave an interview to the United We Stand fanzine, like I mentioned earlier on today. And he was discussing, the problems we had in the squad last season. He was discussing the problems that we had in the squad last season. And he basically, said there was, mentally tired, physically tired. He also was talking about, the injuries that Manchester United had. And he admitted that we had players at the club that with personal agendas. And Solskjaer's obviously, come out and said, we will not tolerate any personal agendas at Manchester United. And he's confirmed, Solskjaer now that we've got no bad apples in the dressing room and stuff like that. But he was also talking about, how important the personality is. He was saying, we're a team in a team environment and stuff like that. But, this is what he recently said, did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. So in a way, he was taking a swipe at Romelu Lukaku. He was taking a swipe at Alexis Sanchez. Because, obviously, one of Solskjaer's biggest tasks since he became Man United manager was getting rid of the bad attitudes and that. And that obviously led to Sanchez and Lukaku departing the football club last summer. But yeah, this is what he said in a recent interview, did Solskjaer. But he also said, didn't he, before the football season got suspended, he, mentioned the changes that he's made at Manchester United since he replaced Jose Mourinho at the football club. But yeah, this is what Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was recently saying. I think a total of 19 players have left since he got recommended in. Obviously quite a lot of them have, been young upcoming players that have gone, But he's got rid of a lot of the deadwood, to be fair. He's going to be getting rid of more players in the summer, is Solskjaer. We're going to see a good 5 or 6 players leave the football club, maybe even 7 players leave the football club in the summer. I've already gone through with you, the players that I think Ole Gunnar Solskjaer is going to get rid of at Manchester United. Jones, Lingard, Pereira, Delors possibly, Pogba still a possibility. Sanchez, he'll probably go back out on loan because we won't be able to get rid of him permanently, reflecting on his substantial wages. Alexis Sanchez is, I think, Small and Rojo will go on permanent transfer. So yeah, we're going to definitely get rid of more players. I think Jesse Lingard is the worst Manchester United player now, so we've definitely got to get rid of him. Got to get rid of Andres Pereira. So there you go. But like I said, I credit Solskjaer. He's brought 5 good players into the football club, and they've been very, very impressive. So far, Solskjaer spent £220 million at Manchester United in 3 transfer windows. And like I said, the summer transfer window will be Solskjaer's 4th transfer window as Manchester United manager. But it'll be interesting to see how Solskjaer approaches the summer transfer window. You know, like he made the admission a couple of weeks ago, was it? You know, he said, you know, we will enjoy a different transfer window. Obviously, you know, a lot of clubs are going to face an unprecedented summer transfer window, you know, due to the financial issues with the coronavirus pandemic. But like I mentioned, I think, you know, we can enjoy the perfect transfer window, you know. And I think our top 6 rivals do fear our transfer strategy for the summer. But, you know, Solskjaer's already revealed that he wants to make around 3 or 4 signings in the summer because he believes we need around 3 or 4 signings to become title contenders next season. Ed Woodward, of course, said about 2 or 3 weeks ago that we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market due to the coronavirus pandemic, and he ruled out big transfers to Man United. By the way, it said that Ed Woodward is going to be speaking to club investors sometime this afternoon to release the latest on the club's financial figures. So that's obviously, you know, being confirmed. They'll probably, you know, he'll probably be in that meeting now, will Ed Woodward. But don't forget, you know, Ed Woodward has said, you know, he's determined to back Solskjaer. You know, he's assured that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's job is safe, which is, you know, very, very good news. And there you go. And like I said, Solskjaer is our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We have sacked 3 managers since the Ferguson era. That was Moyes, Van Gaal and Jose Mourinho. But we have been playing catch-up for the last 6 or 7 years. And, you know, obviously in the last 6 or 7 years, we had different managers, different philosophies. You know, we spent close to the £1 billion range on players. And we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Alex Ferguson era. And, you know, there you go. We haven't dominated football since Ferguson. We haven't. Obviously, all our success came under the Alex Ferguson era. But there you go. But we've made a lot of mistakes in the last 6 or 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent in that. But yeah, give Solskjaer another season. Give him at least a couple more transfer windows and see what happens, because it is a transition period at the moment. And Solskjaer's hopeful that we can get through this transition period and that. But there you go. So anyway, guys, drop your comments, likes, follow on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless you all again very, very soon.